and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another pen for review, and as you can see, this is an ASC or Armando Simone Club pen. So this pen is on loan from John at stjohnspens.com. I'd like to thank John for the loan of this pen for review. It will be going back to John, so if you want to buy this pen or other Armando Simone Club Bologna extras or just any other pens that he has, do check out his website at stjohnspens.com or check him out on Instagram at stjohnspens. So I think let's open the box. So at first here you see another box within a box, which is typical of Armando Simone Club. You have this lovely clamshell sort of box, magnetic closure there. And you also have a booklet here describing Armando Simone Club. And then you have the pen floating on or in this bed. So what I will do is remove the box, and I'll remove the pen from the floating bed, and you can now see this pen in all its glory. So this is another of the Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra Egyptian series pens, and this is the infamous Cleopatra. It's a limited edition run of 88 pens worldwide, and it comes with a Magic Flex 14 karat gold nib. This material is actually quite stunning. I have not seen material quite like this before. It is a new dark green and cream, apparently a in-house made celluloid, created using the same technique as the Arco celluloid pattern, also very similar to the tiger eye celluloid used by Montblanc and Omas during the 1930s. Now, I do believe, actually, though, that celluloid is no longer allowed to be made in most Western countries. So there are only a few countries in the world that didn't sign up to that agreement, and I think one of them was China. So I don't quite know where this celluloid is being made. Now, you can make cellulose acetate without any problems because it is less combustible. But this ASC do say it is celluloid. So if you look at this material, it does actually look very similar to that of the Arco material, although it doesn't have the depth or the chatoyance there. I think essentially what's happened is that they layer lots of different celluloids or resins, and then they cut it at an angle a little bit so that you can see the sort of chevron effect here on top, but you also get a lot of the straight lines here on the side of the body. But it does actually look quite nice, I have to admit. Now, the pen actually has a conical cap finial there, nothing on it. You have the roller style Italian clip. The cap tapers into that cap finial and then tapers out to the cap band here. And then the cap band, you'll see there has a lot of Egyptian hieroglyphs on, and you can see that there. There's a little bit of a step down here to the body, and then you have this ring here, and then it has this pneumatic filling mechanism. And I'm sure you've seen this on some of my other ASC Bolognas, but if I unscrew this, you pull it out. There are, because it's in the Egyptian series, some more Egyptian hieroglyphs here. And then there is a hole. So the idea is you submerge this nib into ink, you pull this out, you put your finger over the hole, you push it down, that creates a suction, you let go, and then ink will rush into essentially a rubber or latex sac, which is within the body of that pen. Now, there are a lot of threads here on the back end that you can see. If I unscrew the cap, you will see a large number 8 size nib, and this is the Magic Flex. This is a 14 karat gold nib. They used to be 18 karat gold, but this is 14 karat gold. Normally only one nib width size, but you can see a massive ABS, not ABS actually, it's an ebonite feed there. Um, it's a very large pen. The section itself is a little bit short, and you do have the threads here. And then you have obviously another metal band here as well, which also has the Egyptian hieroglyphs on that you can see there. And then there's a slight step up to the body. Now, I do find these threads a little bit more pronounced. There's a bit of a step here between the section and those threads. So I do find that on a little bit more of a sharper side that is catching with my middle finger. Now, if you hold it in a tripod-like grip, that probably isn't going to bother you. But if you do rest your finger underneath, that might bother you a little bit. I've not noticed that on some of my other ASC Bolognas, but I am noticing it on this one. Now, you can't post the cap. It's not designed to do so. It's not going to post over that metal ring there. But it is a decent size pen, and I don't think you're going to have any issues without having to post it. So, this is quite a size pen. Now, does it line up every time? No, it doesn't. Typically, Bologna Extras normally have one of 3 threads. So you have a 1 in 3 chance of actually lining up first time. I got it on the second time there, but only because I have lined these up a lot in the past. So I think with that, let's go and do a size check. We'll do a weight check. We'll do a pen comparison, and then we'll do a writing sample. So the full length of the pen, we are looking about 158 millimeters, maybe 160 actually millimeters in length. The length of the cap, we're looking about 72 millimeters in length. And the length of the body from the tip of the nib, we're looking about 148 millimeters in length. So that is quite a long pen, and clearly you can see that there in my hand. It's not a short pen whatsoever. Now, I think let's do a weight check now. Now, this is uninked, so we will see how weighty this pen is. So we're looking just under 55 grams in weight. So that's quite a hefty pen. The cap, though, is just under 12 grams in weight. And then the weight of the body, we're looking around about 43 grams in weight. So that isn't a light pen, but it's also not the heaviest pen that I've tried in my collection. Now, I do like this material. It is very reminiscent of the Arco Brown and the Arco Verde, but it just doesn't have maybe the sheen or chatoyance, the depth of that material. I do wonder if it is cellulose acetate, though, and not actual celluloid. But according to ASC, they say it is celluloid. But I have seen lots of companies saying when something is celluloid when it really is cellulose acetate. But I can only go by what ASC say on this pen for the review. But it is a very nice looking pen, I have to say. Well, I think let's now do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a Cross Peerless 125 in platinum, a Cross Peerless 125 in titanium, a Cross Peerless 125 in the quartz blue, an Esterbrook SD oversize in the Gold Rush Prospector. We have a Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra, and this is in the Cleopatra material. We have a Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero Grande in the sand, a Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero in the Mediterraneo, an Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra in the wild, a Wild Eversharp Decoband oversize, and then we have another Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra in the black and gold Lucians. So I think let's now go and do a writing sample. So this is the ASC Bologna Extra, and it's the Egyptian series, and it's Cleopatra. And the nib is technically a medium nib, and it's a 14 cat gold nib. It's a Magic Flex nib. And then the ink in here today is Diamine Meadow. But that is a nice green, and I think it complements the green on this Cleopatra pen. Now, in terms of line width or line variation, we're seeing about a Western medium. I can push that a little bit harder and get a Western broad out of it. The beauty of these pens are they are very, very juicy wet. So if you want a wet writing nib, then that is exactly what you are going to get. Now, I think we'll do an ink pass here, and we'll do another ink pass. So you can see there that that is what I would class as being a fire hose of a nib. It really is quite wet, and that is a nice writing nib. It's one thing that I've always liked about the ASC Bolognas is the nibs are super wet, and they just glide across the page. So even if you had any kind of pencil-like feedback or scratchiness to the nib, you're not going to feel it because these are going to be buttery smooth nibs. You will, though, however, have issues if you write in a notebook because they are so super wet. They will take, the ink is going to take time to dry. So you might have to wait a couple of minutes before you can turn that page. Likewise, if you're writing on a sheet of A4 or A5 paper and you want to turn the page, you might essentially want to go and make yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. That is normally what I do when I'm writing with a very wet nib like this, and I want to turn the page. I use it as a break to go and get a drink at that point. So what do I like, what do I not like about these pens? I love the Bologna Extra size. This material is interesting. Still not 100% sure that it is a in-house made celluloid. It's possible it might be cellulose acetate, but ASC do say it is celluloid. So I'll take them on their word for that. It is a nice material. It reminds me very much of that Arco Brown or Arco Verde like material that I do have in my collection, but it doesn't have the depth and the sort of shininess that pen has. But it's still an interesting color of pen, and I think if you've missed out on an Arco Verde or you're not quite enamored with an Arco Verde, this might still be for you because it's less shiny and you might just like it a little bit more. So I'd like to thank John at stjohnspens.com for loaning me the pen for review. This pen, as I've said already, will be going back to John. But if you want to check out this pen and other pens that he has for sale, then go and check him out at stjohnspens.com and also St John's Pens on Instagram. John does go to a lot of the UK, European, and now US pen shows. So if you want to see any of these pens, message him. See which pen shows he's going to this year or next year, and ask him to take some of these pens with him. And you never know, you might be able to come away with one of these pens. So I'd like to thank John for loaning me this pen for review. So that's the ASC Bologna Extra Egyptian Series Cleopatra in a medium 14 karat gold nib. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.